In this video, we are discussing the 14th numerical from the exercise for the chapter Laws of Motion, which is also the fourth chapter for the 11th standard physics. Now, this particular question is an interesting question because हम इसमें study करने वाले हैं the conditions for toppling. So basically, we'll be using the concepts of rotational motion, that is torque and moment of force to be specific. So सबसे पहले let's try to understand the question using the diagram. So first we have a wooden plank जिसकी length हमें दी गई है as 2 meters and हमें बोला गया है कि this plank is resting on pivots. Okay, these pivots are arranged at 0.5 meters from either ends of the plank. Now the thing we need to understand about pivots is कि ये plank को linear direction में move करने नहीं देंगे, but they will allow this plank to move in a rotational direction. So basically या तो clockwise या anti-clockwise घूमने देंगे plank को. Now second half of the question में हमसे बोला गया है कि there's a person who decides to walk on this plank and he chooses either one of these pivots as its starting position. So let's say कि हमारे person ने P2 को choose किया है as its starting position and now it is moving towards the other pivot, that is P1. So walking from P2 to P1. So as it is walking from P2 to P1, हमारे person will realize that there will come a distance beyond which it cannot go further, because अगर वो इसके beyond जाएंगे तो the entire plank might topple around our pivot P1. So वही distance हमसे पूछा गया है कि how far can the person walk before our plank before our plank decides to topple around pivot P1. For this particular situation, जो example हमने लिया है, that is the starting point with P2. For this particular instance, हमने जब example लिया है कि man starts from P2, जो भी toppling का situation है, that can only happen across P1. Okay, so whatever toppling or rotation has to happen, that has to happen around P1. So I hope that's understood. ठीक है. So now let us try to understand a situation where this toppling is possible. सो लेट्स से हमारा मैन जो है एक एक्स पोजिशन पर पहुंच जाता है फ्रॉम आर एक्सिस P1, जिसके वजह से उसका वेट का जो कंपोनेंट है इज ट्राइंग टू प्रोड्यूस अ काउंटर क्लॉकवाइज टॉर्क. Now, in this case, the only balancing torque or the countering torque that can be provided is the torque provided by the weight of the plank, that is WP. So as long as torque produced by both these agents are balanced, हमारा plank equilibrium में रहेगा. But the moment the torque produced by this component exceeds our plank torque, it will start to topple. So that's what we have to find. We have to find the condition where both these torques are equal. And उस cases में उस condition के लिए हमको उस man की position या distance ढूंढनी है, and that will be the maximum distance traveled by our man. But हम जो distance इस equation में से calculate करेंगे, that would be with respect to P1. But हमारा man जो है अपना journey start कर रहा है P2. So if I were to calculate this total distance, it would be the addition of the distance it traveled between the two pivots, which is 1 meter given to us, and the extra distance x it traveled beyond pivot P1. So now that we have a better understanding of this particular situation about this question, let us try to solve it. सबसे पहले let us write all the given data. सबसे पहला जो डेटा हमें दिया गया है, हमें मास ऑफ प्लैंक दिया गया है इन द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट, दैट इज 20 kgs, बिकॉज ऑफ विच द वेट ऑफ प्लैंक वुड बी 200 न्यूटन्स. एज वी नो, वेट ऑफ प्लैंक इज m into g. सेकेंड क्वांटिटी हमें दी गई है मास ऑफ द मैन और द पर्सन. हमें बताया गया है कि पर्सन का मास इज 40 kgs, बिकॉज ऑफ विच द पर्सन का वेट वुड बी 400 न्यूटन. ठीक है, विच इज द फोर्स, विच इज अगेन m into g. इसके बाद हमें दिया गया है लेंथ ऑफ द प्लैंक एज 2 meters एंड देन एक कंडीशन वेयर वी नो दैट द पिवट्स आर केप्ट एट 0.5 meters फ्रॉम ईच एंड. And this information is important for us to understand the distance between P1 and P2, which is 1 meters. ठीक है, now based on all these given data, we have to find the distance traveled by man from the starting point P2 before the plank topples. So for our example, it is 1 plus x meters. 1 तो हमें पता है, it's a constant value. We don't know x yet. So let's try to find x. So सबसे पहले the formulas which we'll be using is the equilibrium condition for torque. So balancing of torques. So we are saying that torque produced by plank TP should So we are saying that the torque produced by plank TP should balance the torque produced by man TM. So ये दोनों equal होने चाहिए. That is the condition for equilibrium. By the definition of torque, torque is equal to force into its perpendicular distance. So for plank, it is weight of the plank into the perpendicular distance represented by vector r1. And in this case, its magnitude would be 0.5 meters, which is half of this distance. Since the distance between both the pivots is 1 meter, half of that distance is 0.5 meters. So r1 is 0.5. And torque for man, a torque acting on the man would be the weight of the man into the perpendicular distance x. Now, from this point, the solution becomes quite easy. All we have to do is substitute the values in the formulas. So we can say from formula 1, we get this particular equation. And if we were to substitute all the known values in the given equation, the only unknown term is the x. And if we were to solve and simplify this question, we would get x as 0.25 meters. So x basically represents that after pivot P1, our person can walk up to a distance of 0.25 meters. But beyond that, if person takes even a single step, this plank will topple. So the maximum distance would be this distance plus this distance, which is, so the actual distance is 1 plus x, which is 1.25 meters. So this is the desired solution. So this is the final statement that the man can walk up to a distance of 1.25 meters before a plank of length 2 meters can topple. So this was the solution. If you want a PDF of the solution, do check out the description. With this, I hope it helped you. Thank you.